Hey guys, what's going on? Master Al here. Welcome to another Power Talk. So today I want to talk to you guys about two things. One, breakfast, and two, intermittent fasting. So let's start with breakfast. So we are all brainwashed to believe that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And when you really look at the history of where the shit started from, it actually started back in the 70s and it was created by the cereal companies. Why? You know why? Because those fuckers want you to start buying cereal every morning and make sure that you have plenty of cereal because supposedly breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And what faster way to eat breakfast than literally pouring cereal right into a cup and filling it up with milk? But the truth is, breakfast is really not the most important meal of the day. They are all very important. Skipping breakfast is actually a good thing, especially if you're trying to lose weight, just because you're putting yourself in an intermittent fasting. So what's good intermittent fasting? Well, let's talk about what's intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is something where you stop eating. Yeah, you stop stuffing your face for a few hours, and I'm not talking about 2 hours and then you get to eat again. That's not intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is something that you do where some people have to start slowly. So what they do is they don't eat for 8 hours. And usually those 8 hours, most people are sleeping most of those 8 hours, unless you're one of those fuckers lucky enough to sleep 10 hours a day, which most of us in the real world don't get to do. But you start with 8 hours of starving, pretty much. You're not eating anything. You're allowed to drink water, because you got to stay hydrated, but not no eating or any of that stuff. And then from 8 hours, you graduate to 10 hours of not eating, and then 12 hours of not eating, and then you graduate to 14 and 16 hours. There's people that actually fast a whole 24 hours, and but honestly, the most common one is anywhere between 12 to 16 hours of not eating time. The best way to do it, obviously, skipping breakfast. So let's pretend your last meal is tonight, 8 p.m., and that was your last meal. By tomorrow at 8 a.m., it's already 12 hours. And if you can hold off until lunchtime, which is around 12, that means you went into a 16 hours of intermittent fasting. It is proven, okay, that it is actually the best way to lose weight. And so what happens? So at 12 o'clock, you have an 8 hour window of opportunity to eat. So you're going to eat again from 12 noon all the way up to 8 p.m. And then you can eat. And obviously, you want to make sure you don't overeat because you don't want to exceed the calories because you're trying to lose weight, remember? So we're trying to expedite the process by doing the intermittent fasting. So your body has to actually not only burn the calories that you have, the carbs, but now it starts acting as it's got to survive. So the first thing your body is going to rely on is eating all the fat that you have in your body. And trust me, some people have a lot of fat there to get rid of. So it's amazing because you're not doing pretty much anything. All you're doing is just not eating. If you add a little bit of exercise to that, and on top of that, you start eating the right things for you, the right nutrients, things that are actually healthy for you, you can lose a ton of weight with very little effort. The problem is people are lazy. People get desperate after the first day or two of intermittent fasting. People lose their shit, and it's because they don't realize it's like being addicted to drugs. You actually start hitting withdrawals, and so you get headaches. You lose your shit. Some people actually lose their patience. Some people are actually in a bad mood. But if you only understood that's only going to happen in the first few days. The good thing about this is that by going into an intermittent fasting routine, it doesn't come with side effects except the ones I just mentioned. So no, you're not gonna get cancer. You're not gonna get all the shit complications like regular drugs. What if you take something for like diarrhea, then you start thinking about suicide and killing yourself. So you'll be one guy who just killed himself and pretty much shit himself at the same time. So all I'm saying to you guys is that a lot of the medicine, a lot of the drugs that we take, they come with fucked up side effects. In my opinion, some of the side effects is worse or are worse than the illness that we're trying to cure. So intermittent fasting is something so simple and is amazing. And so now let's talk about breakfast, right? Well, let me finish up with intermittent fasting. If you can start with 8 hours of starving, not eating nothing, and then only 12 hours of eating window, that's great. But eventually you want to reverse that. You want to make sure that you go 16 hours of not eating. And that's tough. It's going to take you guys a couple of weeks before you do that. So skipping breakfast is a good thing. And if you can actually work out in the morning, what's happening is instead of you burning the calories from the shit that you ate this morning, you actually end up burning the calories from the night before, the shit that you put in your mouth the night before. And so it's actually is better because last night's meals, you already start working this morning by burning those calories. So that's that. All right. So once again, when it comes to intermittent fasting, it has a lot of great things that come your way, especially when it comes to losing weight. Now let's talk about breakfast. That's the way I started the video today. Breakfast, the food of champions, the main meal of the day, all this bullshit that we got going on. It is not true, guys. Okay, breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. It really, really is not. All right, it's like saying that the best time to fill up your gas tank is in the morning. It's like so stupid. All right, you eat when you're hungry. It's not that complicated. You know what? If I'm not hungry at 12 o'clock, why am I going to eat? Just because the world is telling me it's lunchtime? So I'm going to follow what everybody in the world is telling you? How many times do you eat and you're really not hungry, but you're eating because it's 12 o'clock or because it's 6 p.m.? It's like, shit, we're going to start getting ready for dinner. You're only saying that because you're going based on time. You're not really going based on how you feel. And so when people are telling you breakfast is the most important meal of the day, it really is not. It really 100% is not. There's no scientific proof that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, that if you eat breakfast, the rest of your day is going to be amazing. There's not one single fact that can back that up. All right. So remember that. And it was truly created by corporate America, the guys that wants to sell you millions and millions of fucking cereal boxes. But there's absolutely nothing that can help you by just eating breakfast or skipping breakfast. And so, because now we understand that, and now we are putting this video together and understanding what intermittent fasting do for you, now you realize that by eating breakfast, you're actually breaking that intermittent fasting, that actually by intermittent fasting, by not eating and putting yourself in a fast stage, you can actually burn more fat. And I'm not talking about losing weight. See, this is where people get confused. Some people want to lose weight, and they don't realize that losing weight, you might be also sacrificing some muscle mass, which muscle is actually what keeps you burning more fat without you having to do twice the work. All right, but that will be a complete different topic about that. But right now, I want you to understand two things. One, breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. Two, if you put yourself in intermittent fasting, if you follow intermittent fasting, you can actually lose a lot of weight without working that hard. Is it hard? Yes, it's difficult, especially when you're addicted to eating every 2-3 hours. Of course, it's hard. It's like everything else. But if you start slowly but surely, start intermittent fasting, where you start gradually 8 hours, then 10 hours, then 12 hours, 14, 16 hours, you're not going to feel it as bad. But as you're doing that, you're going to see how your body's changing, and more importantly, how you feel, because it also gives you a lot of clarity when it comes to the way you think. It just gives your body a chance to heal. It gives your body a chance to do its thing for itself. But when you're constantly eating, that means your body has to constantly be working those calories, burning those calories. So your body's always on overload. You're not giving your body a chance to rest and to do the proper thing that it needs to do for our bodies, right? All right, so we learned two things today. Intermittent fasting, it's amazing. You can Google it, you can YouTube it, you can see all the information that is out there, scientific information that is actually proven. And number two, do the research exactly about what I told you. When the slogan became famous, that breakfast is the most important part of your day. It's the most important meal of the day. And that slogan became very famous back in the early 70s because of the cereal companies. All right. And that is it, guys. That's it. I don't want to make this video too lengthy. I just want to give you guys the information. Obviously, knowledge is power, so people think, but at the end of the day, knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential power, because he ain't gonna do shit for you until you apply it. So just because you know something doesn't mean you're fucking. Listen, I want to be a millionaire. Thinking about being a millionaire with, let's say, working and doing certain things or opening a certain business, thinking alone ain't gonna make me the millions. I'm gonna have to execute. I need to apply that knowledge into making that business happen so I can become a millionaire. So once again, this knowledge I'm sharing with you guys, it's good. Don't use it just for entertaining purposes only. I want you to use it for knowledge, and I want you to apply that knowledge. So don't just listen to me and kill 10 minutes of your life. I want you to apply and see how your life is going to change right before your eyes. And that's it for me today, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful day. Until next time, see ya.